Hi. So I've been reflecting a lot lately on how we bring our kind of unique qualities and vibrancy to our work, and how I guess we can just embrace more of that uniqueness in how we show up, and what that means for groups when people can show up in all their weird and wonderful ways of doing things. And because I think we need it. We need our differences. I say that all the time, but I believe it passionately. So, anyway, practicing what I preach here because I've been struggling with my own differences in terms of how I show up in what I do. And so, yeah, I thought I might share just a quick, fun strategy that I just came up with to tap into your own emergent wisdom for 2025. So you can use this to give yourself advice for 2025 in your work. And, full disclosure, this came from essentially a mistake or not being able to write something. And then I thought, well, what would I do if I lent into my own style more? And really, my own style is actually leaning more into my playfulness and less into what I think people think I should be. So, and at the moment, that involves creating random, weird ways of tapping into my own emergent wisdom. And so, really, what that's about is trying to tap into what's emerging in, what's less conscious. So, what's emerging, in my case, what's emerging for me, because it's less, if I try and come at it and think at it really directly, I can't access it. So I'm trying to kind of get around my own brain in a way. So anyway, thought I would share. Take it or leave it. Here it is. It's scrappy and messy, but that's me. So, and I'm going to do it. So you'll see what it looks like with me doing it as well. So first step is to start by looking around your room or your desk and find five random objects. And don't take any more than 30 seconds to do this. So if you're pausing this, pause it now and go grab five objects. Okay. I have five random objects, and these were really random. I didn't like go and strategically select them. Um, okay, so you got your five objects. Great. And then basically, I want you to go through each object, trust that it chose you, you chose it for a reason, and try and just imagine that this object was here to give you wisdom about your own practice in 2025. So you're kind of like dreaming into what this might mean. So here's mine to give you an example. So I was a bit of like stringy sort of stuff. And when I looked at that, I was like, the first thing I thought of was don't tie yourself in knots. Stop tying yourself in knots. So that's a good piece of advice for myself. The other thing was there's something about being bright, and I don't know whether you can see there, but there's this kind of little bit off here, and it's like a little bit scrappy. So hence this video. I'm being a bit bright. Well, maybe not bright, but I'm being a bit scrappy. Anyway, I'm being scrappy. So being a bit more bright and a bit more scrappy and less polished, I think that's probably more of my style anyway. Okay. Second one was a random clip, which, I had to play with for a while to go. "Hmm." And there was something very satisfying about the click. And I just kind of took that as click into something, notice and click into what comes naturally to you. So that was my lesson from that. Third one was this, whether you can see there, this Banksia. And look, it's weird. I love weird. And it's just really weird. And so, there's just be more weird. Um, But there's also, it's also really sculptural. And I love that it's so sculptural whilst also being natural. And so there's something for me in that about beauty and how I love beauty and bringing beauty into my work. First one is like plug. These these were all things on my desk too, so I've got a pretty messy desk. Um, yeah, and then I was just like plug in, which for me I think means plug in locally. So really lean into locally into my community, here and plug in locally and let that feed me and feed my work. Um, and then I also noticed that it was, a double adapter essentially. So it's like an extension. And so I was like, well, yeah, let things extend out of that. And lastly, it was like a random bit of paper. And for that, it was kind of like, and I just played with it. You can just play with the object until some meaning comes to you. And I just kind of opened it up and it was like, and so my meaning from that was let myself be surprised. So sit with the not knowing, and because if I don't allow the not knowing, surprises can't exist. And I like surprises. So there you go. There's my random piece of tool that you can use if you want to have a play to give yourself wisdom for your work practice for 2025. Have a great end of the year. Bye.